Welcome to Drive 615. Let's go for a drive. This is the 2021 Mercedes AMG GT Stealth Edition Roadster. I've had this blacked out German beauty for the past week, during which I've been daily driving it and experiencing all that it has to offer. As always, we'll take a look at the exterior, the interior, then we'll go out and take it for a drive. The exterior color of this vehicle is Designo Graphite Gray Magno, a $3,950 option that looks absolutely incredible in all different lightings and in all different types of scenarios. Total MSRP as tested, $149,250. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the exterior. The normal front end on the Mercedes AMG GT is very aggressive, but the Stealth Edition makes it that much more menacing. Practically everything is blacked out up here with the exception of the logo and the emblem here, and I think that gives it a nice contrast. I feel like if this was completely blacked out, as was this, it might just look a little bit too unnoticeable. This kind of lets you know it is still a Mercedes. You know what it is with the badging, and I think it just looks really crisp and clean. And when this thing is in your rearview mirror, you know to get out of the way. It's just, I love it. I just love the front end of this vehicle. So long. When we get to the profile, you'll see just how long this vehicle is. And there's one more piece up here. You got the AMG badging here. Now that's in chrome. I feel like that could have been in gloss black, like these strips through here on the Panamera style front grille, but to each their own. If you wanted to black that out, you know, in aftermarket, you absolutely could, but I just love the stance and front end of this vehicle. And one thing I like too, it's a very low and aggressive car, but I didn't feel like it was low. The ground clearance here when I was pulling in and out of driveways and whatnot was actually really practical. I felt way better in this than I do in my Corvette, and I just felt like I could maneuver around town a lot more easier, and it looks low, but somehow it actually isn't that low. So let's go and take a look at the profile, and I'll show you how mean this thing looks from the side. Here at the profile, you get a nice view of just how long and lean this vehicle is. It's very front end heavy. The vast majority of the car is the front end, and when you come back here to the rear, there's not too much rear. What makes it look good though, in my opinion, is this rear wing. When this is up, I feel like it really balances out the vehicle. If it didn't have that, I feel like it does kind of taper off a little bit too quickly in the back, but with that active rear spoiler, it looks really crisp and just really sets off the whole vehicle. Now, we do have the exterior night package as part of the Stealth Edition, so that blacks out almost everything. The mirror housing, this through here. Now, this V8 bi-turbo badging, that's still in the chrome, as are the tops of the door handle. The side through here is blacked out, but again, the tops are in chrome. And I feel like these little bits of chrome, while they could have blacked out every single thing, it makes it look classy with just a little bit of chrome here and there, just to make it look like you didn't plasti dip the whole car black. Again, it does kind of give you some little nice touches, and I just love the look of this vehicle, especially with the top down. Now with the top up, it looks good, but I think this vehicle really looks its best with the top down and just gives you a nice overall view of the vehicle. We do have the 19-inch front wheels, 20-inch in the rear. These are the Y-spoke design. Black painted brake calipers, and you do get the AMG badging on one of the 10 Y-spokes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear. Absolutely love the rear end of this vehicle, especially with this wing up. It just looks so mean and aggressive. It looks like you're track ready and like you're hauling A, even though you're sitting still. So I think that's a crucial part of this car, and I kept that up as much as possible. Now we are in the Stealth Edition. However, the AMG badging, the Mercedes emblem, and the GT indication is not blacked out. That's still in chrome, and I'm all right with that. I feel like if this was fully blacked out, it might look like there was kind of something missing, and I feel like this little bits of chrome give it a nice little pop of color, so to speak, that breaks it up. Of course, I absolutely love the slim and trim rear tail lamps. You've got an AMG indication right there on this, as well as on the other corner, and both of the headlamps too, so that's just a nice little kind of Easter egg built in as well. Now we've got a quad exhaust. These tips are blacked out as well, black chrome. That looks incredible. Absolutely love that. That sounds incredible too. That is the AMG Performance exhaust. So let's go ahead and let you take a listen to that. I'll fire it up and do a few revs for you in Sport Plus and in Race, and I'll make sure that I got the active exhaust turned on. that sounds insane. I was just sitting here in park, so you can only imagine how good that sounds when you're blasting by fully on throttle. But those pops at the end are absolutely incredible, especially when you hit some downshifts. You can really hear those amplified. Now, there is some trunk space back here. This is a convertible, so the soft top just folds right back here. But I couldn't figure out a way to open up the rear trunk. In other models, you either push here on the center, that pops open the trunk, or there's some kind of button that you press underneath here. Now you can press the button inside, but if you're already outside and you want to put your groceries in or something, then you're gonna have to use the key fob, which is all right. So you pop that up here. You got a decent amount of trunk space, considering that, again, this is a very front-end heavy vehicle, and this back end's, you know, only so much, but you do get some decent trunk space through here. If you want to, you know, get some groceries or haul a few things around town, you should have no issue there. Now, there is no soft close, and you guys know I love to harp on that. There is a handle here, so you don't have to touch your paint, but again, it's that kind of like tough game you got to play where you pull it down with enough force and get your hand out in enough time. A few times I'd, you know, get it down to here and it wouldn't shut all the way, and then I'd have to either reopen it or do it over, or just kind of push on the paint. And again, this is that matte type finish on the paint, so you don't want to get a whole lot of fingerprints on it. So that's just something to keep in mind as far as the practicality standpoint. Looks incredible, but that's just one functional thing to keep in mind. Let's go and take a look at the interior, then we'll take it for a drive. As part of the stealth package, you get the AMG interior night package. Absolutely love the AMG door sill here, blacked out as well. Just looks really clean through there. To work our way up, you see the first little bit of the black piano lacquer trim. That's an option along with the carbon fiber. Got some nice diamond cross stitching through there, and you see the first little speaker from our Burmester surround sound system. Little storage through here. It's kind of interesting. It's not like hard. It's kind of flexible through there, like on the back of a seat almost, and that's just through this side sill through here. As we work our way in, again, I'm not going to touch on every single thing. I'm just going to kind of hit some of the highlights and you know, talk about the things that I like and don't like. Absolutely love the AMG Performance steering wheel in full Dynamica. So just take a look at this. It feels incredible. You got your black center indicator there, and that's in leather, and then you got the blacked out AMG badging at the bottom. Really love that. Absolutely love. Is probably one of my favorite things on the interior. The paddle shifts, those are blacked out as well. Now I see why they did this. I mean, if this was blacked out as well, you may not be able to easily see, especially at night, so I feel like that's fine that this is in a differing color. You can get that nice diamond knurling texture on that as you see through there. So just really, really nice on the finishes. That same texture through there is up on the door lock. So really, really nice finishes in this vehicle. I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up for you guys. Foot on the brake, push to start. I like that that turns red. I feel like that's a pretty cool little feature through there, and it's kind of like pulsating around as you see there. So carbon fiber was one of the interior options, along with that piano black lacquer trim. You come up through here, you see that trim through there. I'm gonna go ahead and fully turn down the climate control for us. And as you can see, you can hear this vehicle, and the exactive exhaust is actually turned off. So if I turn it on, it gets just that much louder. And as you see in doing so there, you can see some of the changes, different settings in the vehicle. So let's go ahead and use this wheel here. And as I turn that into sport, you'll see the different changes that are associated with sport, sport plus. See, exhaust is on powerful now, suspension's on sport plus. And if we go into race, you'll see we got the AMG dynamics of Pro. So that is pretty cool. You can fully customize this fully digital display cluster there to show whatever you want on the left or the right. Of course, love the digital tack there. So I'm gonna give it a rev and let you see. That bit of yellow kind of followed it through. Here's all the different buttons where you can change between the different suspension settings, traction control, different modes through here, radio adjustments, automatic start stop. If we open this up, we got our cup holders in here. There's a USB. No USB-C in this vehicle, so that's interesting. I'll go ahead and close this. There's our stealth edition badging through there. Heated and ventilated front seats. You've got the air scarf, so that's the part right there in the seat that keeps your neck warm, and you got the top down. Absolutely love the diamond stitching. I'm a sucker for that, and especially, you know, they make it look so good in black. You know, of course, like if this was in red or something like that, it would look incredible, but they managed to make black look amazing as well. You got the AMG badging up there in the headrest, and you got that black lacquer trim around the housing through there. You can remove this rear windscreen if you'd like. It's made out of glass. You simply just slide it up. But I have had a blast driving this vehicle. Let me touch on this too. Here's the touchpad. Again, I'm a very tactile and practical person, so here's the gear selector, and here's the center console, which, by the way, if you look in there, not a whole lot. You got 2 USBs and an SD card slot, and then that's the alternative way to start the vehicle if you need to. If you don't do the push to start, you can put the key actually in there. Just pop it right in and twist it. But if you were resting your arm here, for example, which I did when I was driving, and I wanted to use the touchpad to control this screen here, because this is not touchscreen, unfortunately, I would always put my wrist here and slide through here and scroll between the different tabs. Very responsive, very good haptic feedback on this. But, you know, if you move your wrist at all, you might accidentally pop it into neutral or drive or whatever. So that's just kind of a practicality thing, that this is right here, and the gear selector's here. It's not like it's up here or up a little higher. I mean, it's like right behind it. So it's just kind of taking a little getting used to, you know, utilize this and also not get in the way of the gear selector here as well. And lastly, before we take it for a drive, I love just how that carbon fiber comes all the way down here. They definitely didn't skimp on it and just, you know, show it up here. It's just this full bit through here, all through here, just absolutely gorgeous. So let's go ahead and take it for a drive. Real quick though, that's how you put the top up and down through there. It's a real quick process. Let's go for a drive. Behind the wheel and on the road in the AMG GT, what are we working with underneath the hood? That is a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 producing 523 horsepower, 494 pound-foot of torque. That's paired to an AMG Speed Shift DCT 7-speed transmission that is super fast and responsive, especially when utilizing, of course, the paddle shifters. And that's been the most fun way to drive this vehicle, in my opinion. This is hands down the best driving car I've reviewed, probably in my whole time of reviewing cars. Not the most fun, right? I've driven some crazy high horsepower, supercharged, you know, Ferraris and Lambos. That's fun. This is extremely fun, but this is just the best all around driving car. It just handles so incredibly, and that's thanks to, in part, to the so many different things that this vehicle possesses with the AMG performance aspect. Of course, we've got the AMG RIDE CONTROL sport suspension. We got the AMG electronic limited slip differential, the carbon fiber composite drive shaft, the performance exhaust, in this case a high performance summer tires. I mean, there's just so much that comes together in this vehicle, and, you know, of course you can look into all the specifics of it, but I'm just, again, I always like to focus on what it's really like driving it and how you actually feel. Right now we're in comfort mode. We're just kind of taking it easy. This first part of the review will be with the top down, then we'll pop it off. Automatic start stop just kicked in there, turned off. I don't like that. I know some people love that. Personally, I could do without that, but I know there's some different rules and regulations with regard to that, but I always just turn it off when I can. So again, we're cruising right now in comfort, and it's just a smooth and comfortable ride. I feel, you know, just safe. I feel like I can daily drive this. I feel like I'm not scared that I'm gonna spin out, or, you know, it's just like a crazy car. At all times. It definitely has the capability. You switch it over into race mode and you're, you know, track ready and ready to crush it. But as far as, you know, just daily drivability, incredible. Comfortability, as you know, I'm 6'5" inches tall. With my head back on the headrest, my head is right up in the top of this retractable soft top. I generally have been riding a little bit forward, so I don't notice that as much. But if I'm back on the headrest, I am touching up there. Legroom's incredible because my seat is maxed back. Visibility out the front is good. Visibility looking out the rear is fine. That little top part, you know, comes up a little bit, but not too much to skew your view very much. But out the left, if you do the, you know, over the shoulder look like I love to do, huge blind spot. Really no way around it. This is where the soft top comes up out here on the side, and you just really can't see out the left. Of course, you got the side view mirror and the different safety features and whatnot, cameras, but if you want to look out over the left, it's definitely hard to see. With the top down though, of course, that's no issue, which we'll put the top down here in a moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over into Sport Plus. Instantly, things start to change. We are in the Pro AMG dynamic mode, the exhaust switch to powerful. Things are kind of working behind the scenes now. Let's go ahead and hit a downshift. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the downshift. I'm in 5th now. It's gonna put me in the optimal lowest gear possible. So let's go ahead and straight into 3rd. 2nd. This thing is incredible. It's starting to rain a little bit, so I gotta be careful not to slip out. Thankfully, this is very well designed as far as the traction goes, because with the traction control on, you barely any slippage at all. When you take it off, you can whip this thing out around the corner and just drift it like crazy. Or so I hear, but this thing is just, like I said, very well driving vehicle, and you got to think that you get the best in both worlds. You get right now you don't get the look of a hardtop, but you get the feel of a hardtop with this up, and then when you pop it down, so long as you're going under 37 miles an hour, you're good to go. So I'm going to actually pop it over here into race. I'm going to give you one more acceleration, then we'll pop the top down and come around this roundabout here, and it just, I just want to get this thing out on the track and see how it handles. I mean, I know it handled great. I'm going around a full roundabout here at 25 miles an hour, and it's got no issue at all. Out of the roundabout, on the throttle, you hear the little burbles and downshifts. I feel like I am just, I feel like a race car driver when I'm driving this car. Yet, pop it over into comfort. I drove to the grocery store and back to get some groceries, and I was extremely comfortable doing that. I will say too, I do have very long legs, and I'm tall and lean. These bolsters on the back feel incredible, extremely comfortable on the back. The sides though, the side bolsters are pushing in on my hips just a little bit. So I feel like if my hips were any wider, or my legs were potentially any bigger, I might be kind of pushing in on those bolsters. Now you can adjust them to a certain extent, but there's only so much that you can adjust. You can't, fully move the whole side of it down. But overall, the seats are comfortable. Now, as long as we're going under 37 miles an hour, we can put the top down. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the top down here, and so long as we keep the speed up, we should avoid the rain. Now, this is not the ideal scenario. This would be a lot better on a nice sunny day, but we're working with what we have in the week. It's been a rainy week here in Nashville rather, but we are making the best of it, and this car is still putting a smile on my face. We're at max boost just then. I'm gonna go and do that downshift. Like I said, I'm in Sport Plus. I'm gonna hold down the down paddle. I can't get over how awesome this car is. I feel so cool driving this thing. I feel like I'm like some kind of like superhero or like villain in a movie when I'm cruising in it. I just love the feel of it. Again, this full dynamic of steering wheel is absolutely incredibly comfortable. I'm gonna pop a downshift here, and you hear those back pops. Despite me being so tall and my head sticking up so high, I do not get a lot of wind noise, which is really nice. Some convertibles you get in and it's like exhausting because you get so much, crosswind and backwind, in combination with how low I'm sitting in this vehicle, how high the front windshield is, this rear portion back here with the glass, and just the overall aerodynamics and engineering of the vehicle. I don't hear much wind noise at all, which is very, very nice. And again, I'm cruising right now about 40 miles an hour, even at higher speeds on the interstate, totally fine as well. So again, it's nice, and the visibility out of the rear is fine, and off to the left, you completely eliminate that blind spot that I was mentioning. It's perfect. You get full visibility out over the left, and it's just such a nice experience with the top down, especially when we pop it into sport or race, do a few downshifts, and you hear that exhaust. It's just such a more immersive experience being in a sports car with the top down. Oh, on the brakes here, it's AMG brakes, putting in work, and I just love the sound of that exhaust with the top up and the top down. Let's go ahead and put it up. The nice thing is, again, you can do it while you're moving up to 37 miles an hour, so you don't have to stop in traffic. If, in this case, you know, the rain starts to pick up a little bit, I'm good to go in just a matter of seconds. And there we go, back to normal and dry driving, and we're on the throttle. That is incredible. Oh my goodness, I love this thing so much. Pretty much nothing else to talk about. I mean, this is the only bad thing I can say is that blind spot. Aside from that, this car is just absolutely perfect. Granted, you're paying a a decent amount of money, but it's absolutely worth it in my opinion. And it just depends on whether you want to go with the hardtop version or the Roadster. I like the look of the hardtop coupe, but this gives you that functionality, of course, to where you can, on a bright sunny day or a nice fall evening, put the top down, which I did the other night. It was about 50 degrees. I put the top down. It was a starry, clear night. It was incredible. I put the air scarf on. I put my heated seat on, and I was just in my own little bubble. I mean, it was just awesome. So while you do get that, convertible nature of it, you almost feel like you're just not in a convertible because it's just so comfortable to drive. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video review. As always, be sure to leave a like. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comments section below. If you've not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe.